Hello and welcome to this, the third installment in our video boss guide for Dante's Inferno. Today we're facing off against Marc Antony. Marc Antony is a boss unlike any that you'll have fought yet in Dante's Inferno. As you can see, he's not particularly large, and he has no set attack patterns and no weak points. He behaves a lot like a standard enemy, but obviously he's much tougher and also hits much harder. He does have some support from Cleopatra, as you just saw with her attacking you with her fist, but this is generally quite limited. Now, unfortunately, because of the way that this boss behaves, I'm not going to be able to give you a blow-by-blow account of exactly how to beat him. What I'm going to do is provide a commentary on what I'm doing here, some of the things that I'm doing right, some of the things I'm doing wrong, so you can repeat my successes and avoid my mistakes. There is also an accompaniment to this guide, which is a written guide. That includes a full list of all his moves, how to counter each of them and so on. It's too much information to just put into this narrative, so I would advise that you give that a read. It's in the description for this video. Okay, getting into it. Marc Antony, as you can see, he begins off with basic melee attacks. At this point he's not particularly difficult to beat. Most of his attacks are telegraphed. The most dangerous of which is his shield attack, which you'll have seen a few times already. His combos generally hit in threes, so if you see him attack his sword once, then he's going to hit you another 2 times at least. Now, regarding the Storms of Lust, if they hit you, they cause damage and will knock you prone, meaning that Antony will more than likely hit you harder yet again. And if they hit Antony, they render him invincible for a few seconds. My advice would be, obviously, you've got to dodge them yourself, and try and actually train them on Antony. They last quite a while, and repeatedly trying to dodge them is a fool's errand. Just get them onto Antony. The few seconds of invincibility that he gets are much better worth than dodging around trying to avoid these and missing attacks of opportunity. Cleopatra will heal Antony as the battle goes on. You've seen that happen a few times already. To stop that happening, you need to hit her hand. I do a couple of heavy attacks, but as I'm playing in resurrection mode, I hit a lot harder than you will at this point if you're playing the game for the first time. That's a weak point there. When Marc Antony uses the ground slam attack, he'll get his sword stuck in the ground. That's the perfect opportunity to hit. You can see I'm using the cross here. It's a cheap tactic, but it's one that works very nicely, especially if you've not yet powered up Dante enough to do some real damage to Marc Antony. You can keep your distance and wear him down with the cross attacks. Now, you'll have noticed, just before he launched that projectile attack, the bottom of his shield was burning. That is a telegraph for that attack. It is unblockable. You need to evade it. There you go. And now I hit him again. That ground slam attack is very useful. It's a brilliant way to get damage in on him. It's the only opening this boss really has at this point in the match. So to recap so far, try to train the Storms of Lust on Antony wherever you can. Use the cross attacks to wear him down from a distance. His ranged attack is telegraphed by the bottom part of his shield burning. Attack Cleopatra's hand to stop her regenerating him. And above all, most of his attacks are unblockable. You've got to be good at dodging. Now, after the 3rd or 4th time that Cleopatra has healed Antony, depending on your skill level, things are going to get much harder. You'll notice I have a full redemption gauge here, and also that I'm not using any magic. This is not something that I would recommend that you emulate. I'm only doing it so that you can get a better chance to look how Antony behaves. Use your magic to hurt him. Use your redemption to hurt him, especially at this point in the game. The lower his health gets, the tougher he is to beat. So make sure you use your magic and redemption to finish him off. The later you can leave using it, the better. Okay, he's nearly down. The key there, again, is that ground slam. Dodge away and then dodge back forward again to hit him hard. I've left the video running here so you can see the end sequence. There are a couple of quick time events you need to finish off this match, and you'll see those in due course. Again, the narrative here for this video is not exceptionally helpful. I've tried to point out some of the areas where I've helped to defeat him. I've tried to put out some of the areas which have hindered me in defeating him. To get the full guide, you'll have to read the article which is linked to. After reading that though, and having a look at this video, you should have a much better chance of defeating Marc Antony. Here are the quick time events. To begin with, it's up on the left stick and then down, and then rolling the stick around, and then finally pushing the stick back up again. No suggestive images here. I apologise for the choppy video. New graphics drivers are inbound for my card at the moment, and this video will probably be replaced once I've got those up and running. Okay, on to the next boss.